Uh, Buenas noches. Good evening. I'm the board member and historian for the Yakima Morelia Sister City Association. The Sister City is a group of dedicated citizens who care about the communities of Yakima and our sister city, Morelia, the capital of the state of Michoacan. The Sister City partners with many nonprofits and organizations to promote Yakima and create a positive image of our community. The idea of establishing a culturally inclusive community event began in 2005 when several members of the Sister City held a meeting to discuss the idea. The members involved were the Sister City Board, the Yakima Symphony, the Yakima Valley Museum, and Sister City members. Several of these people had traveled to Morelia and attended the Dia De Los Muertos celebrations. It is the #1 tourist attraction in Mexico. Thousands of people from all over the world travel there to experience the celebration. The Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is a holiday which is celebrated in Mexico and other areas of Central and South America. It is celebrated in some European countries as well as many areas of the United States, primarily in the Southwest and California. And it has grown in popularity in the Yakima Valley. The early origins date to pre-Columbian Mexico, 3,000 years ago, with the indigenous peoples who viewed death as a continuation of life. They celebrated with feasts and dances the entire month of August and truly believed that the souls of the departed came back, and they set out their favorite foods and drinks and decorated their graves with the colorful cempasúchil flowers, whose beautiful gold colors lighted the way for the souls to find their way back to earth. November 2nd is the official date for Dia de los Muertos, although it is celebrated in Mexico on November 1st and November 2nd. These dates correspond with the Catholic celebrations of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. It is a blend of ancient customs and traditions and the Catholics' beliefs of the Spanish conquistadors. In Yakima in 2005, very few people were familiar with the holiday, and we were tasked with educating the community about the commonalities we all experience in celebrating our loved ones and heroes who have died, because death is universal. None of the stores sold any Day of the Dead items, and we had to order the decorations online or buy them in Morelia or California. We asked a Mexican bakery to bake the special pan de muerto bread. Today, it has become mainstream in our valley. Many of the Mexican bakeries sell the bread, and almost all major stores sell Day of the Dead decorations. Some people are creating altars in their homes and came to the exhibit to ask how that they could create one in their homes. So some of the things that happened when we were talking to people about it early on, they couldn't get over, why do you have to call it Day of the Dead? It sounds like really morbid. But, you know, that's in your face. That's right, death and life and the cycle of life. And some people said, well, you really want to keep that religious component in there, and you don't want to make it commercialized. And we're like, okay, but you probably haven't traveled to Mexico during Day of the Dead, because it is the biggest economic driver over there. I mean, everywhere you go, entranceways to the cemeteries, flower vendors, sugar skulls, any item that they can make related around the Day of the Dead, they're selling it and bringing commerce, and it's really a big driver. And people, you have to book a hotel a whole month and a year in advance. And there are tours that go out to the cemeteries all around the surrounding communities. So it really is a big commerce and commercial driver. So it doesn't cut into the religious aspect of it at all. So the students here, and a lot of these folks, when we started in 2005, we had 11 altars. Some of you might have known Daniel DeSiga. He was the early curator, and he had curated in Fresno as well as El Centro de la Raza in Seattle. And so we had traveled, a lot of us had traveled down there, and we wanted to bring that and create something to be culturally inclusive. We wanted to invite members of our diverse valley, and we reached out to the Filipino, the African American, Japanese, the Yakima Nation, European, and the Mexican communities. We wanted the event held in downtown Yakima. We also contacted local nonprofits and schools who came to participate in a new community event. We even have Wags to Riches who remember beloved pets that have passed on. And some of these groups use their altars to educate the public about the organizations and social issues. Especially a powerful one is the YWCA. They've been doing it almost every single year. Same with La Casa Hogad. But the YWCA, theirs is usually to victims of domestic violence, children's abuse, so really a lot of social issues. Crime victims, comprehensive mental health, victims that have died for domestic abuses and things. Lori Wood, she is amazing. She's a teacher at St. Joseph Marquette. She has been coming every year and brings her students, really gets into it. She dresses up like La Catrina, which is an iconic symbol of Day of the Dead, and brings her students to tour. In the mornings, we reserve that for classrooms to come and tour, and we will pack them out. St. Paul's will be coming, I believe, on Tuesday with probably about 40 students. And they walk all the way from St. Paul's. And they also have an altar that they've set up too. So it's really educational for the students. They learn about this. They learn about other cultures, celebrations, and holidays. Plus, you get to meet a lot of different people. We've also held workshops and things like that and made different colorful items. And I think the kids really get into it and they learn a lot about it. And that it's not scary or morbid or something to be really afraid of. In 2006, the symphony began the Noche de Muertos cultural choral concerts. Here at the Seasons, they started it here. They brought in musicians from Morelia, and they came in from the Conservatorio de las Rosas, which has been teaching classical music continuously for almost 300 years. So the other thing that we do is we have challenges because we do not have a space for our event. So this is the third year that Joe Mann has graciously let us use the building for 3 years in a row. But we don't have a space where we actually can set up and know ahead in advance where we're going to be. So we kind of just wing it and keep our eyes out and our antennas out. So it really would be nice to have a community center or something downtown so those of us that try to have events can have a place to go. So this year the exhibit is funded in part by a grant from the Washington State Arts Commission and the National Endowment for the Arts. Some of the things that we happen is this is Essentia. Some of the businesses have gotten in with us, and what they've done is they've gone and put altars in their businesses and people like to go in. And so we'd like to thank Jessica, Bridget, and Laura for Heart Yakima and for bringing this to the community. Thank you.